Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Racers Driving League for Season 14, round number 2 of the Championship. The Saudi Arabian Grand Prix here at the Jeddah Street Circuit, getting underway for qualifying after what was a very exciting opening round in Bahrain last week, with Salve Blaze taking the victory. However, a new name for the Championship leader this week and for the reigning champion, now being known as Salve Grumio. It moved over to PlayStation, so different account name. I'm hoping, for the record, I haven't butchered that. I'm sure he'll let me know later on. But Huggy Bear, one of the names that hasn't changed, and in the Alfa Romeo, on his first flying lap. We're underway for qualifying for the very exciting session here at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So last week's race, as I said, very entertaining, good race-long battle between Che Oliver and Grumio, and that resulted in the Aston Martin driver starting out his title defence with victory, so he leads the championship. He'll be hoping to add to that tally if he can today, but I dare say there'll be a good few challenges in the mix. We'll be looking to try and stop him. And Dan already retiring from the session here, so unsure as to ask about it. There's no crashes, so no issue there for him. He's just retiring. He may have a qualifying ban, not 100% sure on that. But there is Huggy Bear making his way through the chicane towards the start of the third sector. DRS about to be deployed. We just will take you on a lap of the Jeddah Street Circuit, one of the fastest circuits in the world, fastest street circuit in Formula 1. So it should be very entertaining. Never covered it in the Racers Driving League before personally, so looking forward to seeing what this pack can serve. But first, it's time for the shootout of pole position to get really underway. DRS now deployed for Huggy as he charges towards the line to begin his first lap of the Jeddah Street Circuit. Let's take another lap. So down the main straight, heading towards turn number 1. Look at the braking board today. There's a brake around the 100-meter board on the right through the chicane. Nice and easy, those first two corners. Yellow flag towards the last turn already. Coming towards the S's here. Nice and smooth. Make sure not to go over those curbs. Track limits will be a major problem for all these guys tonight. Huggy really got a bit, really sort of lost control a little bit there going through the first one. So he may lose a tenth or two there. Coming towards the end of that first sector now. Managed to keep the lap valid in arguably one of the easiest spots to lose out. It's a 33.5 as one of the Aston Martins gets out of the way there. That could be the one that could be Landon or Grumio there. So he makes his way now through and towards the next chicane. Nice and smooth, staying off the curbs, but again as close to them as he can without actually going onto them. He's heading towards the second DRS zone on the circuit. There's 3 of them, so one more still to come. Heading towards the next braking zone now. Where will he go? Braking around the 50-meter board through the chicane, nice and easy. There's a very good second sector. He heads towards that final DRS zone, one of the best spots for overtaking on this circuit. Looks to be a lot of passes over the course of it here tonight. And now as he rounds the final corner, very tight left-hander to close things off, and going back down the main straight, back to the first DRS zone. Going towards the line for that first lap time, which will be a 1 minute 30.6. So not too bad a lap. Perhaps could be better in places. PJ Keller coming to the line now, and he goes faster than his team at 1 minute 29.3. So brilliant lap there. Both Red Bulls coming towards the line. Surprise appearance from Tinky Winky 77 tonight. He's charging towards the line. He'll qualify in P2, so splitting the Alfa Romeos. And Che Oliver and the Mercedes, who finished second at last time out, goes fastest. 1 minute 27.7. A brilliant lap there from the runner-up in Bahrain. Huggy Bear now retiring from the session. He's crashed the car. And where has he crashed to? I have to go over to Grumio to see exactly what's happened. We may have just missed him, unfortunately. So I have to go cycle back through. See if I can find someone who just going around it. Coming towards it now, and he's despawned. So poor job for me there. So I have to move on from that. But Huggy Bear, he set a time, not the best of times, so it could be out the session early on. Prologue in third place for AlphaTauri. 1 minute 28.6, his best effort. Just under a second off of the leader. BJ up to second place in the timings. He's got his teammate C110P fan on that lap just behind. He's on the medium tyres for this lap. So it looks like he might be putting a banker lap down and then going again. Waiting for the 2 Aston Martins to set their first lap times. Landlord still in the pits. Grumio through the final corner now. And towards the line. Can he upend Oliver's time? He won't do so. It'll be a 1 minute 30 for him. I'll put him P8 just in front of Huggy Bear. We know that Championship League can do a lot better. So we're hoping to see that later on in today's qualifying session. So 9 drivers have set times so far. Alvar, for the last corner, invalidated his lap in the Williams, and Wardy has also invalidated his lap in the other Williams. A lot of cars slow in that final sector just to give themselves space before starting on their runs. Cholova now into the pit lane. Yep, calling an end to that first qualifying run. Webb's up there in 4th place. Makes his way now down the straight. I've no doubt heading towards the pit lane. His first run over puts him 4th place. He had a brilliant run last time out in Bahrain. He'll look to try and continue that good run of form if he can. There's Mr. TJ coming back into the garage. Without a teammate tonight. No sign of his teammate Curtis. But 1 minute 29.9 for the lone Alpine driver on the racetrack. There's Grumio again. No doubt pitted this time. Ethan beginning his first qualifying lap. 11 minutes left to go in this session. Still plenty of time for things to change. And plenty of time for these drivers to set their first times of the night. Cholova now back on an out lap. And now Curtis joining the session, so he'll be able to get into the other Alpine and we'll have a full grid for tonight's race, which is what we always like to see. So in just a moment we'll see him joining the list of drivers on the racetrack. So 2 retirees in this qualifying session so far. One of them being Daniel Aaron, the other one being Huggy Bear. Decent number of name changes for tonight's Grand Prix and for what I can only assume will be the future. Ethan coming towards the second sector split now. Let's see what he's got on the board. It is a 1 minute 1.063, so not too bad. This could be a good time if he really nails this third sector. DRS now deployed, making his way towards the final corner. Have to see what he has on offer as he enters the final turn. Really getting on those curbs there, straying away from that inside wall and charging towards the line. So 1 minute 28 by my count, maybe 1:29. He goes second fastest there, but still he's on the front row, but 7/78 hundredths of a second off of the timing board, off of the pole sitter, sorry, who's out on another lap now. Landlord on a lap as well. Oh, a bit of a skid there at the last corner. He's managed to hold it. He might be on for a decent time here. Maybe between challenging Oliver. Comes towards the line, puts himself second fastest, and that's a lot closer. 1 minute 28.035. So Oliver now on his next lap. He's trying to put that pole position just a bit out of the reach. And oh, his Landlord going off the track there just to stay out of the way of his teammate, which is always good to see. And I just saw someone fly up the order just a moment ago, and that would be Lycon, who's gone 8th fastest with 1 minute 29.352. So decent lap there. Who's currently outperforming his teammate Pope, yet to set a lap time. Pope did very well in last week's Grand Prix, from what I remember. However, I could be remembering that all wrong. Regardless, he's invalidated this run, so he's going to have to go again at least. Over the line to begin that next run. 8 more minutes left to go in the session, and we're still waiting on 7 drivers to set their times. So Connie Goblin, who I doubt will see out the pit lane. Pope on another lap. Curtis about to start his next flying run, as is Fan, going to the last couple of corners now. Alvar about to start his out lap, and Wardy. Cholova goes fastest. Wardy yet to set a lap time. JB also yet to set a lap time, but Cholova fastest now once again in the Mercedes. 1 minute 27.484. It's a brilliant lap, and it's put him just a few more tenths clear of Landlord as BJ has now gone third. Improved by 4/10 over his previous effort. Oh, no idea what that was. It was one of the Alpines there. I think that may have been Curtis. Just moving out of the way for both BJ and for Oliver. Fan coming towards the end of the first sector. Let's see what he has in the tank. Over the line, 32.1 as one of the AlphaTauris moves over to the side. For that long sweeping left-hander. Good exit from the McLaren driver. Let's see where he can put himself out of the DRS zone. Sorry about that, Mac unplugged. Yep, DRS now redeployed. And towards the split, 1 minute, 0.8. Decent second sector. We saw Ethan put it into 5th place for the low 1 minute 1 in the second sector. So he's about a second faster. This could be a big lap from C110P fan, provided he finishes it off as he rounds the last corner. Requires a fast finish. Yellow flags deployed behind him. And towards the line, so 1 minute 28 is enough for P5. Just behind his teammate. As Grumio now goes second fastest. So puts himself on the front row and 4/10 off of his rival Che Oliver. Landlord on an outlap here. So Fan there behind him and BJ coming into the pit lane. The end of his next run. There's Ethan looking to try and improve. Webbsy there in 8th. Still waiting on 6 drivers to set laps. Alvar on his way through. Sector 1, very, very unforgiving, which is the general consensus of the drivers on track. Alvar now coming towards the line. It's looking like 1 minute 29 here. It puts him 9th fastest though, so just inside of the top 10. And as of right now, because he hasn't set a time, crucially in front of his teammate Iwardy. It's been out a number of times, but yet to set a valid lap. Here's JB making his way through the chicane in the second sector. It appears he's backed off a little bit for that, but he's back on the throttle now on the exit. DRS about to be redeployed for him. We're right on board with him as he heads towards the split. It's a slower one, so it's backed off considerably, so we can't expect much from this. This lap short will be most likely putting him in 15th as it stands. There's still a bit of time for him to improve, so everything's still to play for in these late stages of qualifying. Out the final corner. Into the pit lane though, so bringing an end to this run. I'll assume he'll go for one more at least before he calls time on qualifying. There's still 4 minutes left to go in this session. Landlord's out on the racetrack. Looking to go again. He's currently sitting in 3rd. Of course, finished 3rd in last week's race as well. Out of the chicane, and now back into the DRS zone once more. We're just waiting now for the large influx of cars to come back out on the track for what should be the final runs as Prolol out of the session. Well, I can only assume has crashed in the final corner. Has anyone been able to get a good angle on that? Wardy through the last corner, might be able to just pick it up. No, never mind, he's despawned in time. So didn't get to see it. There's still skid marks on the track. I only assume he spun it out the last corner as Wardy comes towards the line, set a valid lap. But it's a 2 minute. Excuse me. Sorry, that was his outlap. That's again one of the greatest glitches of the game. Pope coming out the pit lane now. For what I can only assume will probably be his final run. We'll start seeing a good number of cars out on the racetrack now. And Curtis now disconnecting. And I wouldn't say that's what you want to do when you've set no time and there's only a few minutes to go. Anyone who wants to set a lap will have to be back out on the track within the next minute or so. Stand a chance of making it round in time. BJ now disconnecting too. He's arguably quite safe in this position in 4th. But anything can still change. So I wouldn't count anything out just yet. Pope warming up his tyres there, getting ready for what will most likely be his final run. Or what should be his final run without doubt. Wardy, the lap's still valid, so as long as he doesn't blow the chicane. And Lando retiring, he's crashed the car, I think. Oh, and that's a horrible looking hit there for the Aston Martin. Out of the session, 3rd place, so still arguably quite safe as Wardy now heads towards the last corner. And now redeploying the DRS, he charges towards the line. Yeah, 1 minute 29, well, sorry, 1 minute 28, and it puts him 8th fastest. So just in front of his teammate, Websy in the Ferrari, currently splitting the 2 Williams cars. PJ Khaled about to start his final lap. Here comes Tinky Winky now, about to also start his final lap. Both Oliver and Grumio on out laps. And Oliver about to come through to the line to get going again. There's C110P fan. We're waiting for him to come back round. Should get round in time. Shouldn't be a problem at all. That's one of the Williams cars, I believe, backing off. That was Alvar. Oh, there goes Courtney Goblin around. A late spin. And that could be the kicker at the end of his qualifying run. Doesn't look like he'll get a valid time in. Hope will need to pull off a major last sector. Last few cars coming towards the line now to get a chance at their final runs. Does Wardy make it in time? Narrowly. The checker flag now falling. The Alfa Romeo first across the line as PJ Khaled will stay 12th. Just ahead of him. That is Pope. So behind him, sorry, that's Pope has shot up to 3rd place in the timing screens. Brilliant lap to close out qualifying. Next up, JB coming towards the line, but his lap is invalidated, so he'll start on the back row for the race. Putting it into the pits, calling it a day. Tinky Winky also coming into the pit lane. Who is the next car around to cross the line? That will be Courtney Goblin, who's out on the track, which is a massive shocker, as it always is, as he makes his way now towards the final corner. However, that lap won't have much value in this case. Yellow flag, and that is for Grumio is going slow here. He's invalidated his lap, and I dare say that may mean Che Oliver is safe in pole position unless C110P fans have anything to say about it late on. Both Ferraris over the line, neither improve. Grumio, the reigning champion, qualifying lap over for him more or less. Was Fan over the line, puts himself P2 by 2,000ths of a second, and Che Oliver can confirm, unless Alvar pulls the cat out of the bag, which he won't, is Che Oliver on pole position for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Wardy's still got his lap left to complete. Fan 2nd, Grumio 3rd, Pope 4th, Lanold in 5th. Oh, and there goes Wardy, spinning it over the line. There's PJ Khaled over the line in 13th. So there is your pole sitter, Che Oliver over C110P fan. A front row no one saw coming. At least one of the Aston Martins expected to make that front row, but narrowly beaten out by Fan. And BJ starts in 6th. And don't count out the Haas boys either. Pope in 4th with Lycon in 8th. Prolol thrown in there for good measure. Ethan and Wardy running at your top 10. And it's Websy and Alvar on row 6. PJ and Tinky on row 7. TJ and Huggy on row 8. Courtney and Curtis on row 9. And JB and Dan on row 10. So that is the end of qualifying then. We're back with you in a few minutes for the start of the race. So don't go anywhere, because it's going to be a very, very entertaining one. Right then, here we go again. It's time for the race. Round number 2 of the championship. The Racers Driving League Season 14. About to get underway on another Monday night. I'm your host, Zach RC, bringing you through all the action into what should be a titanic second Grand Prix to go with the incredible season opener that we had. Of course, our reigning champion now taking on a different name, Salve Grumio. Now the name, I'm sure, like I say, that he will correct me on that later on if I have butchered that completely. So a moment away now from the start of the race. Drivers just changing their setups, about to get things underway. As we wait now to ready up, hopefully we'll be able to get confirmation from the man himself to see whether or not that I'm pronouncing it the right way. So we go now, the countdown for the race to start. The formation are about to get underway. So it should be an absolute classic for you. So make sure to stick around. And it's the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in the Racers Driving League.
The formation lap gets underway here in Saudi Arabia, and every driver will be looking to settle in for the race ahead, making sure their car's ready for the battle as the lights go out.
So there's your starting tyres then. Only Tinky opting for the soft tyres. Courtney Goblin, Curtis and JB opting for the hards. Everyone else is on mediums.
So as all the cars take their positions on the grid, the teams will be hoping their strategies pay off for them in today's race. But the question I'm asking is which teams have got it right, which ones have got it horribly wrong?
Che Oliver then taking his Silver Arrow to the front of the grid. It's not often that we see a car other than the Aston Martin or the Alpine last season taking on the slot on the front row. So it's good to see someone else's helmet in that cockpit shot. The cars now lining up at the back of the grid. The two Mercedes cars are the exact opposite ends of the field. Let's see how they get on. AlphaTauri and the Mercedes lining up on the back row of the grid as you get ready for the start now. 25 laps, the Jeddah Street Circuit. We are about to get underway. The lights are on. 5 red lights. The second race of season 14 here in Saudi Arabia. Lights out, foot to the floor. Go, go, go. Decent getaway from Che Oliver compared to to Fan on the left-hand side. Grumio punches past into the first corner. Oliver has gone away to an early lead. It's chaos for the back. No idea who's going where. I'm not going to try and make sense of that. Oh, got a car almost being forced off there. And that almost took, of course, Wally to have damage. He gets all out of shape coming out turn 2. Up front, it's still Oliver in the lead. He's pulled up by a second already. Brilliant start from the guy. It's still chaotic going into the chicanes. If everyone gets through cleanly, I'll be absolutely amazed here. Alvar making moves for the back. There's real pack stuck there behind them. And everyone being very careful here. We had no track limits warnings in the no track limits penalties in the first race. We'll have to see if that can be carried on, but I doubt that. Jeddah, a very unforgiving circuit. Oliver leads them. Grumio second and Landlord in third. He's put out a 1.2 second gap already to the championship leader and his teammate by 1.2 seconds behind him. And that'll be crucial in a couple of laps time when the DRS is deployed. Fan has fallen back to 4th. He's had a nightmare start here. Pope back there in 5th. BJ stays constant in 6th. And look at PJ Keller gaining 5 places, and potentially, if he can get any closer to the cars in front, we'll be looking for a 6th. Unless Lycon wants to get a place back off him here as they make their way through the chicane for the first time. Lycon going a little bit deep there. Look at the speeds through the corner. Brilliant stuff there as they make their way through and charging down that penultimate straight, heading towards the final corner. A lot of overtakes happening there today. Prolol has dropped out of the points here. Alvar following his toe as they make their way for the last corner. And up front, it's Oliver who comes through to lead the first lap of this Grand Prix, with the two Aston Martins giving chase in second and third. So a very intense first lap there. BJ looking around, trying to make an attack on Pope if he can, but too far back to actually do anything. At this stage, he's going to go deeper into turn 1 to try and close up that gap just a little bit more. Daniel already up to 18th place, so that's due to two cars pitting. Tinky into the pit lane, Huggy Bear also into the pit lane, both of them Tinky for a wing change and a fresh set of hard tyres, and it's going to be is it going to be a wing change for the other ones? No, it's just medium tyres going on the car, so a quick tyre change here. And both cars now away, and now both out of the pit lane and getting ready to go back on the racetrack. So Grumio has now closed that gap up to a half second. Not quite sure what's happened in the half lap. We weren't paying attention to him as Tinky when he gets the first time penalty of the season for corner cutting. So very unfortunate for him. Not a title I'm sure he wished to have. So make their way through now that second sector. And lapse time the DRS will be deployed, and that'll be where Grumio really starts to take advantage, as he has done so often in the past. Oliver will be desperate to try and stay in front as much as he can. Those two have pulled out 2.8 seconds, and I see once again going to be having another Mercedes Aston Martin duel at the front of the field. I have to see if it's the same result this time. Who comes out on top? 7 tenths more or less between the two leaders. They make their way to the final corner to complete the second lap and begin the third. Behind them though, Lycon making moves, making his way past, and there goes one of the cars onto the pit lane. Not sure who that was. A C1-P fan who may have damage of some kind in the pits early on. Is a wing change required from the McLaren team? Yes, it is. Changing onto a fresh set of hard tyres as well. So are they looking at a one stop here because of that mistake? There's your predicted pit stop strategy, coming in at an excellent time. We're looking at a one stop or maybe a two stop today, depending on what we choose. But everyone needs to stay away from the soft tyres. But the only driver who went for those is Tinky to go for that first lap, and he is now changed onto a set of hards. So I don't know what strategy he was trying to play there, but it clearly hasn't come to fruition for him this early on in the race. Single file all the way back to around 9th place, and that's where Webbsy is looking to try and go on the attack on PJ Callard. So they make their way off the corner, charging towards that next chicane. A couple of tenths separating everyone right now. No one really in position to go for anything just yet. DRS now deployed for Grumio. He's closing in, but not enough. There'll be 3 DRS zones here, lined up one or the other for the Aston Martin driver to make his attack. And the DRS deployed for the second time now. Looking all the way close to the wall. He's closing in to some extent on Oliver, but not as much as he might like. So make their way now through the last corner. And now towards the line once more. Still around 7 or 8 tenths between the two of them. Pope a lot closer to Landlord, but might not be enough to go for a move just yet. He may need to have one more lap of just sitting there lying in wait in the toe. He is closing in bit by bit. He's probably put down about another tenth or so by the time they reach turn 1. So a very insane start to this Grand Prix so far. BJ lying in wait there in 5th place. Looking to make something happen. He's hit the wall there. Oh, and around he goes. And that might be... he's very lucky to know his race ended right there. He can't go up into traffic. He has no front wing here. He has to drive the rest of the lap without a front wing. And all of a sudden, McLaren's day has gone from bad to even worse. A nightmare start to this Grand Prix for them. Oh, and there's contact in front of them. And that is 2 cars out. JB and Curtis out of the race just like that. Contact between the Alpine and the Alpine and the AlphaTauri, and there is the shunt in full view. Not the nicest looking images I've ever seen. So 3 cars of damage, 2 of them out of the race, and there is the Mercedes safety car coming out onto the racetrack right now. So let's see what this will change in terms of strategy. While we've got this little break, have a look at position changes so far. The biggest gainer has been Dan, who has gained 6 places. He's up to 14th now. And the biggest loser driver's lost out has to be C1-10P fan. Has lost an incredible 14 places due to pitting on the second lap. But on the bright side, those cars who've pitted will now stay out for track position. However, whether they'll gain any remains to be seen because they're so far back. Right, will we see Oliver into the pit lane this time? Yes, we will. Will Grumio join him? Absolutely. I'll have to wait to see what Landlord and Pope choose to do. Everyone's on medium tyres this stage. So, oh, Pope stays out. Pope making the strategic change, flipping onto the alternate strategy, as he so often loves to do. As Che Oliver leads his pit box, he'll come out in front of the Aston Martin. The double stack for the green team as Landlord makes his way in. Held up just for a moment there. The change being made. It's a front wing change as well. So I'm not sure if he's incurred damage in his opening few laps, but he's got the opportunity to pit and change it now. It'll be held up. Sorry, he's actually got away with it there in terms of getting held up. BJ, another front wing, making that front wing change that he so desperately needed. And he's onto a set of hard tyres now. So we're probably looking at hard tyres to the end for a lot of these cars. Tusby Pope then now leads. Ethan in second. And Lycon in third position. Oliver now fourth. Woody fifth. Grumio sixth. Daniel seventh. Websy 8th, PJ Keller 9th, and Landon rounds out your top 10. It's Alvar, Fan, Prolol, Cottony, TJ, BJ, Tinky, and Huggy, who is still in the pits there, making a change of that front wing. Hard tyres now back on the car, and he's away. So once everyone catches up, then we should have a restart, and hopefully there'll be a bit more entertainment. The start was a bit crazy in terms of everyone just jostling for position. We'll be restarting single file. Waiting now for everyone to catch up to the back of the pack. So track position will be crucial for those 5 drivers who stayed out on the racetrack on those medium tyres. It's only done 12 laps or so. So still we're looking at a one stop here. However, they will fall massively back. And that's provided if they even so much as stay in front of the challengers who are now on those fresh hard tyres. Everyone bunched up here. The 2 Mercedes cars up the front of the field. And Daniel coming into the pit lane now. Only one of those guys who stayed out that last time coming in now. And there is the change being made onto that set of hard tyres, which should last into the end of the race without question. So down out the back of the pack. It's mandatory stop now complete. And only Pope, Ethan, Lycon and Wardy yet to stop. Keep an eye on those tyres as we go. 2 penalties have been handed out so far. 5 seconds is PJ Canada, which I can only assume is for speeding in the pit lane, I believe. And Tinky has the 3 seconds for track limits. Which is the first penalty of that kind this season. So we went the whole first race without them, which is very good to see. Shayla weaving all over the track there in attempt to get those tyres up to temperature for the restart. And Huggy Bear into the pits once more now. Will that be his 3rd stop of the race? Yes, it will. And I don't know how he's broken his front wing under the safety car. Didn't quite see it, but that is just unheard of. How on earth has he done that? Regardless, he's away now. And PJ Keller disconnecting there. He's running in the 8th position. Huggy's teammate. That camera angle is probably a bit off. I doubt he'll catch up this time to the back of the chasing pack. So I dare say I'll probably go one more lap before we go back to racing. PJ now rejoining. As the safety car will be out for one more lap at least, while Huggy catches up to the back of the pack. I'll be back in just a moment. I'm back, and in the nick of time too, as the safety car is coming in this lap. We're about to get back underway. Pope leads the way, still with Ethan in second and Lycon in third. All three of those drivers yet to make their first stops of the race, so on older tyres, but tyres that can still go the distance. Safety car now back into the pit lane. The pace is Pope's to control. Former champion. Waiting to get going again, and there he goes. And Chelo disconnected at the worst possible time here. And there he goes, falling back down through the order. Into turn one, they come very close to contact around him. And everyone all over the shop here. Yellow flag, and who is that? That's TJ. TJ out of the race already. No idea what's happened there. But he's out as the third retiree. Pope now pulling away. But a second advantage. Wardy up to fourth here. He's past Grumio. And now Curtis Dixon leaving the session as well. So Pope a second. Now clear of Ethan. Lycon still there in third. And all around goes Wardy. He's gone up in front of the pack there. That's a very, very close shave. And two cars out. Oh, and there's contact. And that is Daniel out of the race. And Landlord's out as well. Big crash there. Tinky narrowly avoiding that. Huge, huge crash there on the straight. PJ Khaled, Che Oliver involved in that to some extent. And he's been disqualified for being parked in a dangerous location. He's now at the race and we're down to 12 cars. Just like that. And unsurprisingly, the safety car deployed. Wardy spins up in front of Daniel. And it's a huge, huge chain reaction there. And we're down to 12. Unfortunate for Che Oliver there. Disqualified for being parked in a dangerous location. Something that the AI couldn't do anything about. And one of the race's major players taken out this early on for reasons beyond his control. Well, that was chaos to say the very least. So Pope then leads once more. Ethan second. And thanks to Wardy's spin, Romeo now up to third. And he now looks to be the favourite for this race victory. Yeah, no idea as to what went down there. We'll have to see if there's any change in strategy here. With less cars in the running, Pope and Ethan may not lose out as much. Yeah, absolute madness there. That's going away for lap number 10 now. So Pope then, thanks to that instant, continues to lead the way. Tinky is now caught back up to the back of the pack. And we'll be able to go back to racing. I have no doubt in just a moment's time. And should that be the case, there are 15 more laps to go. That may have taken out a number of good cars in this Grand Prix. Some of them who made a shot to win. The situation is difficult for, in particular, Pope and Ethan. The only two drivers who are yet to make their stops. Huggy Bear has made an incredible 3 stops from these opening 10 laps. Is up in the points with no penalties. And I'm unsure if they even know what strategy they're going to try and pull here. Because they will lose track position regardless of when they pit, unless it's under a safety car, in which case they'll just fall to the back of the pack. However, they will lose time by having to catch up to the back after making their stops. So they'll fall to the back either way, because no one else will need to come into the pits, because everyone else is looking to go to the end on those hard tyres. Safety car coming in this lap. So for now, a bit less time to dwell on it, and a bit more time for some more racing. That crash took out a lot of good cars, some of whom probably could have won the Grand Prix today, but at this point they've still got a lot of good cars left, and one of them's going to get right back on the wheel here. Pope will lead once again for the second safety car restart. He's away. Brilliant start from the Season 11 champion, and he's off in the distance just like that. Websy now goes to the outside of Grimio as they head towards turn number 1. 2 cars all the way over to the left-hand side of the track. It's Prolog and Alvar as they enter the first corner. Prolog gets the jump, stays in front of the Williams machine, and there goes Courtney Goblin, who might look to the outside. Thinks better if it stays in line for the time being. BJ there in 9th place, Fan back up to 5th. The comeback continues for him thanks to that incident. The McLaren day trying to be turned around, and technically Fan running in a net 3rd position right now. Websy running in 2nd, and Grimio in net 1st place. The 2 leaders, Pope 1.1 seconds clear of Ethan already, and I dare say that Ethan will be expecting a visit from the Aston Martin knocking on the door of his Red Bull. An unexpected visit from the reigning champion. ERS now redeployed, and Ethan starts to reel Pope back in now. But he's also dragging a friend along with him too, and that's the Aston Martin as they make their way through the chicane once more. Websy currently sticking solid in 4th, and Fan in 5th, being chased by Prolog. It's Alvar who's now finds himself holding off BJ and the other McLaren, who looks to the outside, all the way up to the right hand side of the track. Almost goes into the wall there, but charges around the outside of the Williams car, going in towards the final corner. Alvar is still there on the inside, so BJ has to give him the space. Is forced a long way around. They're still side by side on the exit. Down the main straight they come. And there we go, BJ getting the better of Alvar, but only for the moment, because he's going to duck over to the outside thanks to that extra toe, and going towards turn 1. Who's going to be last on the stoppers? Into that first corner, BJ is the line. Alvar forced back out of it, and may lose out to Courtney Goblin as well, who could once again find himself looking, circling just to try and find a way around Alvar, who will then catch back up to BJ, and the cycle continues as 1. Prolog chasing Fan. Past one McLaren, and now what's another? Up front, guys looking around trying to make moves here. It's all single file as of right now, save for potentially Courtney Goblin looking around trying to make a move on Lycon, but too far back. Poor run for that last corner, might allow Tinky to close back in. Seven, 8/10 separating the 2 medium tyre runners. 3 cars back on mediums to make 5 in all. Courtney, Tinky and Huggy. Ethan on the chase here, looking to make something happen. He's still within a second of Pope, and the DRS got deployed next time. And Grimio's really dropped back here, and there goes Prolog, looking to go on the attack for the first time against Fan as they come off the last corner. Down the main straight they go. And Grumio's into the pits there. I've been muted for, I'm not sure how long I've been muted for, but I've been muted for a while. So apologies for that. No idea when I actually pressed the button to mute. Don't actually think I did. Very confused about that. So apologies for that, but we'll get back into the swing of things here. Ethan then defending from Websy. who are defending from Fan and BJ. Those two will be going on the onslaught. Gremio sets the fastest lap once again. He's closing in on Courtney Goblin and Huggy Bear, who are currently fighting over the last points paying position. Both of them with 3-second penalties each, so it has no value to either one of them. But if Gremio gets within 2 seconds, 3 seconds, both of them, they're both done. There's Tinky, spun it out. Recovers the car, gets the going again, no damage done. And Courtney Goblin now with another 3-second penalty, so that'll give Huggy Bear the spot for the time being. Gremio has a 3-second penalty of his own, so it should affect them as well. And look how close BJ is to the back of his teammate here. Has to be very tight between the two of them. DRS being redeployed. BJ relying purely off the toe and as well as the DRS to help him. But Fan getting an equally good toe for Websy, who's getting one off Ethan. And those guys are gradually closing in on the Red Bull in second place. 3.6 seconds to the leader. Pope has no concerns behind him, but he's going to have to pit eventually. And he waited in the last race till the last possible moment to pit. And down the main straight, this could be where Websy gets Ethan into turn 1. He's going to duck to the inside, going towards that first corner. Last on the brakes, very, very deep in his contact. And around goes Websy at turn 1. And one of the drivers who may have been tipped to win the race today, now falling down the order and down into P7. He suffered the same fate as Prolog did a few laps ago. And now C1 Tim P Fan in net first place. Technically, once these guys in front of him pit, will then lead the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. It's a 1-2, a net 1-2 for McLaren, but it wouldn't be over yet because Lycon is still right there behind him. Another challenger emerging, entering the mix, and there's Alvar in 6th place doing an incredible job there. Great stuff from him. And Gremio now in the top 10. The chase begins for him to try and hunt down the leaders. How far back is he? He's 20 seconds back. I doubt he can make that back up. Pope and Ethan on 16 lap old mediums here. They're really sticking these ones out as long as they can. And now it's Fan's turn to go on the attack. Very unfortunate incident for Websy. Now falling back. Contact between him and Ethan. And that may have just cost him potentially a race victory. Huggy Bear, another penalty for him. We'll have a look at the penalties here. 3 seconds for Ethan. 3 seconds for Prolog, Tingy and Gremio. 6 for Huggy and 6 for Courtney Goblin as well. So the sun now resetting over the Saudi Arabian landscape. And down that main straight we go. Will Fan suffer the same fate as Websy. He's going to go to the inside. Not a chance of that same fate taking place again. He's up into second place and now starts chasing Pope and BJ just going to be outside, but Lycon almost didn't let him. Oh, and there's a bit. I think Lycon may have touched the wall there. And there goes BJ getting around Ethan without issue and staying with his teammate here. And should Pope pit, and he definitely must, in order to avoid being disqualified on the penultimate lap. And then this race may just be a McLaren fight for the victory. And maybe, just maybe, we might see a bit of involvement from Lycon, who's currently making a move on Ethan off the corner. It's still very tight. It's side by side between them. Give the edge to the Hash driver. And he had a car spinning. That was Tinky Winky spins again. He's still there in P10. Huggy Bear now 21 seconds down the road from him, having made what I think must have been another stop. He made 4 stops in this race now. Courtney Goblin in 12th. Now, when does Pope pit? He may be hoping for a safety car of some kind. We now welcome Alvar into the battle for that spot up front. Lycon being chased by Ethan and by Alvar. Fan had a particularly poor exit there. This could be an opportunity for BJ to try and take away second place. There he goes on the left-hand side. Over the line. He'll have it when they cross the line to begin lap 19. Fan staying in the toe here. This is incredible racing between these two. Keeping it clean. Teammates last season for AlphaTauri. Teammates again this season for McLaren. And Prolog now passing. Pope is into the pit lane. And that'll mean BJ takes the lead of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix with 6 laps to go. Excuse me, with 7 laps to go in this Grand Prix. Ethan now up into 8th. Pope joined him. So both of them in the pit lane. And we go back to racing. Ethan coming out in front of Pope, surprisingly. There may have been a wing change in there involved. That's why Pope has dropped back. But those guys now on fresh sets of soft tyres. Tinky Winky also on soft as well. Connie Goblin, look at those soft tyres too. Huggy Bear stays out on what he's got. Well, this could be a very entertaining end to this Grand Prix. 20 seconds for those two to close up. I doubt they can do it. I honestly do, but anything could happen in this late stage. A safety car could change everything. And BJ doesn't want things to change right now. He'll want things to end as they are. He's got his teammate breathing down his neck. Lycon there in third. Alvar up to an incredible fourth place. Took a podium a few races ago at the end, towards the end of season 13 in Brazil. If he can bag another one here, that'd be absolutely brilliant for him. Lycon, to my knowledge, yet to win a race in the RDL. A win could still be achievable from where he is now. So it looks to try and take both those McLarens on. The chase continues. 4-car battle for the race lead. Gremio now up to 7th place. With the changing circumstances. Prolol, 3-second time penalty for him. Shouldn't have much effect. He's there in 6th place. Fan, the only one still in DRS range of the leader. And it's redeployed now. Into chicane, still giving tremendous chase. Is Fan and BJ just trying to hold on here. He's got 5 more laps to go and he crosses the line. Yellow flag, and that's Connie Goblin who's gone around. And there's Tinky Winky who will catch him very quickly there. Gets back up to speed. We could see a fight between these two towards the back. No points on offer, purely pride between these two. BJ into turn 1. Yellow flag, and that is Tinky Winky who's gone around. No damage done to the car, but it looks things. Another spin for him though. That puts him down to P12 outright. Pope now sets the fastest lap. 17 seconds between himself and the leader. So yep, it's looking unlikely that he will actually manage to catch BJ up front. Those soft tyres are good, but they're not that good. Lycon also still there in the mix. 1.5 seconds off the lead here. And looking to try and close in. If he can stay close to Fan, then he should be able to stay with BJ as well. But if BJ can pull out DRS range, this race might just be over. BJ there. We're looking to try and keep us going as quick as he can. Yellow flags, and that's Prolo's out. There he is, and he's triggering a late safety car. And all of a sudden the race flipped on its head, just like that. And BJ, if he chooses to pit, will have the advantage. In he comes. Fan stays out. BJ and Lycon both into the pit lane. I don't quite believe what we're seeing. In the late stage of this Grand Prix, a safety car changes everything. We're down to 11 cars. And that brings Pope and Ethan quite spectacularly back in the mix. Pope's now in 2nd place. And Ethan, we're up there as well. If he can beat JB out, which he hasn't. And he's lost out to Lycon too. It's been very tight between them. He lets him have it. Wow. And I wouldn't like to be in the shoes of C110P Fan right now, who sits on 19 lap old hards, nearing the end of their lifeline, with drivers all more or less on fresh soft tyres, sitting right behind him with a few more laps to go in this Grand Prix. Only question is, when will they bring the safety car in? Because they have to get at least two or three laps of racing under their belts to finish this one off. I don't think the race is actually able to finish under safety car in this game. If it is, then I'm yet to see it. We're seeing that Mercedes safety car for a third time now in this Grand Prix. An absolutely crazy race that could have a brilliant climax here. And it doesn't look like the safety car will be brought in this time. We may have to go one more lap. I'll give everyone a chance to catch up as best they can. We may genuinely see 11 cars actually contend for this race victory. If everyone goes for it immediately, then we may just get some incredible carnage to close out this race in Saudi Arabia. And one thing I will say, there will be, which will help fans' case incredibly, there will be no DRS for these final 2 laps, because you need a third lap in order to get DRS back under the restart. So there's never any DRS for 2 laps after a race start or a race restart. So we wait now just to see who will come out on top here. It's anyone's game at this late stage of the Grand Prix, which honestly is not something I thought I'd be saying around 40 minutes ago. But times change dramatically, and C110P fan now has a huge task on his hands if he wants to win this Grand Prix, or even so much as score points, because there'll be one driver in this order who will finish the race not scoring points if everyone who is still here now makes it to the line. It's going to be an absolutely crazy one here, so don't go anywhere because things are about to get very tasty indeed. Grumio there in 8th place. Could he be a dark horse in these late stages? His objective here, simply to make up as many places as he can. Number of drivers we can say and face that most likely are out of the running here, which is anyone with penalty. So Ethan, Grumio, Huggy, Connie and Tinky are all out of contention for the race victory. Let's face it, because I doubt anyone will actually be able to pull away to a decent extent unless Pope gets in front of Fan immediately. BJ could pull away as he did, or as he tried to do after taking the lead from Fan, but to no real avail. Plus it was all brought back by this safety car. And we wait now for that message to get us back underway again. Will it come in this time? Yes, it will. 2 more laps of racing to decide this Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. It's going to be a real neutral's delight here to finish this race off. And I can't tell you how excited I am to be able to shout about these final 2 laps of racing here in Saudi Arabia. It's only the 2nd race of the season. We expected chaos like this a lot later into this championship. We're getting it already. So deep breath, everyone. C110P fan is rounding the last corner of the circuit. He has to do the restart of his life in order to give himself the best advantage for this one. Deep breath in, everyone. And here we go. Back underway. 2 more laps to go here in Jeddah. Pope, terrible restart for him. BJ might try and go to the inside of turn 1. He has to go last on the brakes in order to get there first. Into the corner they go. There's contact behind them, I think. I may have potentially missed that. Everyone's going at it at the back. It's real chaos, and there goes Tinky, almost losing the car there. 3 wide for 9th place. Fan has gone away to the restart of his life here, and now needs to pull away. Pope and BJ got at it through the S's here. Nice and tight between them. BJ showing no quarter at all around the outside, goes wide. May have gone for the warning for that, but Pope's door has been completely shut. It's like Haas versus McLaren for this race victory, and Haas on the back foot almost immediately here. As there goes Ethan looking to try and pass Alvar. He's on the inside. That's Grumio going for it, and Alvar goes way wide there, allowing the reigning champion through on the inside. There goes Alvar back around the outside, holding on to 6th place for the time being. Ethan back up there in 5th. Touch me open. Lycon side by side into the corner. Very tight between them. Lycon gets out in front. It'll be his job now to try and chase down the 2 leaders in this late stage. And McLaren 1-2 is on the cards. And C110P fan, a task that looked impossible for him about 2 minutes ago, It's now looking like he might be the real favourite to win this race. A 1.5 second lead going on to this final lap. And I dare say this race is over. Yellow flag, and it's Connie Gomez out of the race. And that is a horrible looking shunt there for the Ferrari. So everyone who finishes this race will now score points. Half the pack have not made it to the final lap, as the leader is about to take it now. Oh, and there goes Grumio in the back. Grumio around, Websy around as well. Final lap now. 6 cars still there in position to try and do something about this one. BJ back in DRS range, but has no real value, no real wing opening on this lap. They're going to have to rely on Fan making a mistake or just being slower because he's on those slower tyres. They've done 22 laps. Those things are completely done. And I don't see how he's keeping himself in front right now. Tinky to the pit lane. His race is over more or less. It'll be 1 point for him from today. And the fastest lap point as it stands currently going to Touchby Pope. Lycon trying to close on BJ, who's trying to close simultaneously on Fan. He's got to get down to about half a second now. So this race is not over yet. Keep an eye out here. This could get very dicey indeed. Into the chicane they come. Like I say, no DRS, but a brilliant tow will be given here for BJ, who may just try and get the lead here on this last lap. But here comes Lycon, using everything he's got in order to try and stay in front. Fan not using his DRS. He's saving it. Lycon looking around trying to find an opening on BJ, and there won't be one. BJ now in control of second outright, but you went a bit too deep in that last corner, so Lycon might try and take advantage of that. And C110P Fan, who I've always said, he always seems to come out on top in Chaos. Chaos has come through today, and he's gonna emerge once again from the wreckage and emerge victorious, provided there's no problems to this final corner. He runs towards the line. BJ right there behind him. He's using everything he's got, but it's not going to be enough. It's going to be a 1-2 for McLaren, and C110P Fan wins it. Wow. What a brilliant end to this Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. 1-2 for McLaren. That pairing on absolute fire today. I remember how poorly they started the race. It's been an incredible comeback drive for them. So C110P Fan win. And BJ in second. Lycon third. Pope in fourth. Alvar takes an incredible 5th place finish. Ethan 6th. Grumio 7th. Huggy Bear 8th. Websy 9th. And Tinky Winky will take the final points paying position. Brilliant, brilliant stuff there. I'll have to see if we can talk to Fan here, because that was a quite brilliant end to this Grand Prix. So C110P Fan wins. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. It's been an absolutely incredible one here today. McLaren on top. And McLaren are victorious here today. And the celebrations begin for them. A race that started so poorly for them ends in them getting a 1-2 finish. No one saw that coming. It was an incredible Grand Prix. It had absolutely everything in it. So there are your final results then. I'll be able to talk to Fan now, just to see what happened. But there are your final results. Fan wins the race. It's BJ second, Lycon third, Pope fourth, Alvar fifth, Ethan sixth, Grumio seventh, Huggy eighth, Websy 9th, and Tinky Winky 10th. Then it is Connie Goblin 11th, Prolo in 12th, PJ Khaled 13th, Landlord 14th, Daniel Aaron 15th, Wardy 16th, 17th goes to TJ, 18th JB, 19th goes to Shepherd, and our pole sitter Che Oliver is in last place. So that is it then for racing. We have to talk to Fan there because no idea what just went down. No idea just what went down. What could have been going down in Fan's mind during that final lap. We're going to talk to him in just a second here as I get things working. And here we go. Get him through in just a moment. So that was a very entertaining race. I do hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did bringing it to you. absolutely sensational stuff here, and that isn't the kind of race you see every day. Fan, mate, congratulations.
Hello, mate.
What on earth just happened there?
I don't know. I literally do not have the foggiest.
I mean, that was just like, it was completely unbelievable. I've always said that the races I see you win are the ones that are absolutely shrouded in chaos, and that, it's just the case today. What does chaos just follow you wherever you go?
The opposite, arguably. If I'm the one that wins them, I'm the one that manages to avoid it.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. It all goes on around you.
It was a lucky win. I'm under no illusions that I deserve that one particularly.
Talk us through it, because I mean, obviously, poor start, dropped back on the opening lap, and then had the issue had to pit early on, but you dragged it back to the race victory. How'd you do it?
I got caught at, I don't know who it was. I got caught at turn 1, and that sent me into, was it Landlord? I think one of the two. And so I got wing damage at turn 1. Tried to hang it on for a couple of laps, hoping for a safety car. Obviously that didn't come right away, and I was losing so much time to the guys at the front that I figured I might as well just box. I knew already the hards would go the whole way, so it was just a case of gambling. Luckily it paid off.
Yeah, definitely. I do want to ask you, when you saw that safety car come out, just a few more laps to go when you were battling with BJ, what went through your mind there when he dived off into the pit lane? Because obviously you'd lose track position if you'd gone in with him. So you stayed out on 20 lap old hards and had to hold off a whole pack for 2 laps. What on earth? How'd you do that?
So I was gonna go, and then I realised that because of the lap that there wouldn't be any DRS. So I knew the safety car would have to come in at the end of lap 23, I think it was. So I thought I had a shot, but then I saw everyone else box for soft. And then I didn't think it was so clever. I actually messaged BJ and was like, I've made a mistake here. But credit to him, he messaged back and he said that he would protect me. So I can't claim that victory all for myself. BJ did me a massive favour there.
We'll talk to him. I'll be talking to him in just a moment. But yeah,
is he coming in?
Not coming in, but I'll be talking to him on stream in a few moments' time once we're done here. Yeah, last question I have to ask you, just in terms of next week's race, it's Australia next week. How is Albert Park as a track for you? We're looking at the win, perhaps.
I don't know about a win. I quite like it. I don't want to jinx it and say that I have good pace there, but I tend to have good pace there. The only problem is I either have very good or very bad luck when we get there. That's the only problem. So it could go one way or the other.
Well, I've seen it go one way for you in the past, so let's hope it doesn't go the other way this time around. But yeah, I'll let you go off and celebrate, and I'll be talking to BJ in a moment. So
Cheers,
yeah,
mate.
congratulations again.
Tell him I said thank you again, and that he's a beautiful, beautiful man.
I'll let him know. I'll let him know.
Word for word.
I'll try and remember. All right. Well,
Cheers,
you have a good one, mate. Congratulations again.
Yeah, you too.
All right. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye. All right, and that was a very pleased C110P fan. Very proud of the job he did with his teammate. And I'll be able to hopefully talk to BJ now. But yeah, BJ did an incredible job there holding up the rest of the pack late on so that his teammate could get through in and hold on to take that win, because BJ was in a position to try and win the race himself. BJ, are you there with us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you perfectly, mate. Well, first of all, congratulations on the podium finish. Of course, it wasn't the smoothest of races for either of you guys in the McLarens. Talk me through it. What went down?
Well, I had quite decent qualifying actually. P6, I believe. Couldn't get my last lap in because I disconnected, but well, I was satisfied compared to my practice sessions. And I started quite decent. I believe I was P4 or P5 or something, and then I spun out unfortunately, so I had to box. But the safety car came out immediately, so that brought me back into the race. And after that, I had quite good pace. There were some DNFs in front of me, so that brought me back in front. And eventually ended up in P1 before the safety car. Was managing quite easily. Then the safety car came out, yeah. And I was listening to your interview with Fan just before, and he was quite spot on. I boxed, he stayed out, and well, I decided we at least had to defend the 1-2. So that's what we did, and that's a pretty good result, pretty unexpected from my side at least.
Yeah, I mean, it's brilliant stuff considering how things went for you guys earlier on in the race. Of course, I'm assuming that you then heard what he said about you a few minutes ago. You're a beautiful man for holding him up. He said he messaged you. He said that he messaged you under the safety car, saying he'd made a mistake. Was the decision to try and win the race yourself ever on, or was it always going to be just about the 1-2?
Yeah, well, it was top priority for me to protect Van because he was about to lose 2 seconds a lap to compared to the soft runners. So I immediately overtook Pope after the safety car restart, and then I just was coasting through sector 1 to give Van a bit of room, and I wanted to catch up to him to maybe get the win, but Lycan was pushing quite a lot behind me. Lycan was quick today, by the way.
Yeah, he was incredibly quick.
yeah.
I'll give him that. Absolutely incredible stuff.
But the 1-2 was more important than a win from myself. I'm too inconsistent to fight for a championship anyway, so let Van have those 25 points, and then I'm happy as well.
Very, very sportsmanlike from you there. We do always respect that. But yeah, very pleased with the 1-2. Last question for you before I let you go. Australia next week. How is Albert Park as a track for you?
I'm not sure on this game actually, but the previous games I loved it. But on this game it's basically 50-50 whether I'm quick at any day. As I said before, I'm quite inconsistent, so well, just hope. I love the track, so well, we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to see how you get on. So I'll let you go now. So yeah. Enjoy your evening. Hope you're very pleased with your performance. We're very pleased to see it, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks.
Alright then, and that was a very sportsmanlike BJ there, who protected the 1-2 over his over trying to steal the win from his teammate, which you always do love to see. And that does bring the end of the stream to an end, so we do hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, then make sure to subscribe to the channel for more Racers Driving League action over the course of the season. With that then, thank you for watching once again, and we shall see you in next week's race. Same time, same place. It's Australia next week, and we'll see you then. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.